You know, every day I wake up and I see another article talking about where Bungie went wrong. Why is Destiny 2 dead? And pretty much, it's always shocking. It's always different to me. And now we have someone leaking insider info to Paul Tassi that apparently Bungie was never profitable. And you would think, well, how is this multi-billion-dollar company, after being purchased by Sony, but even prior to that, never profitable when Destiny 2 is one of the most successful live service games in the industry? It's one of the lives only like looter shooters left besides Warframe. If we really want to be honest, I mean, they included microtransactions. Even back in Destiny 1, they included a crazy DLC release schedule in Destiny 2 where you would have the base game drop for $60, two mini X packs for $20, Forsaken for a year, and the cycle would repeat. You'd get a big expansion every year and then more dungeons and things you could buy for $20, $30 in the meantime. I mean, it truly is, at least in my mind, a gold mine, but apparently it wasn't. So let's go over that. Let's go over how Sony is pretty much delusional and they're killing a product and spraying and praying and hoping that maybe they'll hit the jackpot with something different. Saw how that went with Concord. So we have an article here from Paul Tassi, a two-sentence insider report on why Destiny 2 died. Brother, we're about to hit July, and Destiny 2 fans are still mourning the death of the game, which frankly will probably go on for years with the IP now in the perpetual limbo. The worst part about this is there will never be a market replacement, in my honest opinion. I think we have seen the official end of the looter shooter genre outside of Warframe, and I think we've seen the end of a game that actually plays like Destiny 2. The apparently Sandbox team was eventually laid off, which is horrible, and that was some of the most special individuals in gaming, some of the most talented people that I think make any video games, period. Just a sidebar. So it's just horrible. But what I really want to jump up to is where it says here, it's not Sony's revenge against Bungie, it's not the game's quality tanking, it's able to be summed up in two sentences from one of my sources, one with knowledge of the situation, who spoke on the condition of anonymity. The simple, maddening explanation. Because of enormous scale of content that had to be produced nonstop, lest fans revolt against its scarcity. Destiny was only very rarely profitable during its entire lifespan. Now, to put that into perspective, Destiny was given $500 million by Activision back in, I think, 2011, maybe 2009, to develop this franchise. And to think that somehow they were not profitable is just ridiculous. Someone needs to go over these books. Now, here's what I will say. I will give them credit where credit is due. I don't know many studios putting out as much content in the live service format the way Destiny does. Now, a game such as gacha games, whether it's Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, these big second generation games, those are free and they give updates every 6 weeks. And maybe people don't like the updates or whatever the case may be, but they generate millions and millions of revenue because there's new characters and every character could take up to like $300 to $400 for you to get, not including their weapons and whatnot. So it makes sense to me how gacha games can pump out so much content because it's such a lower quality of cost and their profit margins are so much higher. But even then, like, I don't fucking understand this. It will never make sense to me. In my mind, you cannot tell me that, well, I mean, I guess now you can tell me they're not profitable because they're closing down, but the second sentence gives a little bit more insight as to why they were never profitable. When Destiny was profitable, those extra funds were often immediately misused by leadership at the time, funneled into way too many simultaneous incubation projects or ideas like spending tens of millions on a new, unneeded 208,000 square foot headquarters. Now, Bungie wanted to expand Destiny massively. I've covered this previously. We'll go over it again right now. They put way too much money in side projects that were never fully greenlit and were canceled very soon, whether 6 months, immediately, a year later. There was, let me scroll all the way back up here. Here's a list of all canceled Destiny projects per reports. We had Destiny Payback. This is going to be a third-person spin-off game to Destiny. Now, I think the mindset Bungie had here was that they could make Destiny a household name. They look at a game like League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, and while Destiny was a household name in some regards, they felt that there was more to the IP that they could milk and get out of it. And, well, unfortunately, that was just not the fucking case, right? You then see Destiny Sunspot. Another spin-off title, SpongeBob, was reportedly canceled in 2023, according to Jeff Grubb, another credible insider. Little is known about the specifics of this project, but is a part of Destiny's broader strategy to expand the universe beyond the core first-person shooter. Should have never done that. They should have focused on the first-person shooter because it was lacking in quality, although Paul might say otherwise. It is what it is. Destiny PvP game. Why are we putting money into a PvP game when the game has PvP and the PvP devs were stripped away to Marathon? I mean, objectively, this is the dumbest idea on God's green earth. It's ridiculous. And even if these things didn't start development, you have to pay devs and people to map things out and plan the ideas and figure out how they approach this content. If you spend $400,000-$500,000 in development time for a game that gets scrapped, that never makes it to the fucking chalkboard in 6 months, that's still $400,000-$500,000 you will never get back in development cost, even prior to just specifically making the game. I mean, it's just fucking insanity. They wanted to make a mobile game. This is now corroborated Bloomberg's. This is in regards to the one that came out. Sorry, I got a phone call, but no. So this is different from Project the Destiny Rising, which is not doing good in itself either. And then they wanted to talk about doing a Netflix series, and we all know Marathon took about $200 to $250 million of Bungie's money as well. And well, that game is just in the fucking shitter. I'm not going to be that guy, but I will be that guy. It is what it is. If I pull up the fucking Steam charts real quick, I mean, Jesus Christ, bro, we're sitting at an 8,000 peak in 24 hours, 7,000 on it right now. That's fucking diabolical. The money was just it was there, but it was evaporated. And there are rumors, allegedly, of people being let go from Bungie early before they can get payouts of their package deals for being there for such a long period of time. But what makes this to me even worse is how out of touch Sony is as well. Sony says wants to revitalize the market with new live service games. You had one of the most popular and one of the most successful live service games. Now, business-wise on your end, it was not successful due to the mismanagement even prior to Sony. We got to be fair. Bungie's been fucking up since inception of Destiny. But you had it right there. You had it. Concord was garbage. Destiny, to me, was like kind of the last hope. I don't think, yes, there will be other live service games that come out that might be successful, but this model, it's oversaturated, it's overdone, it doesn't deliver a good quality product, and people are getting fucking tired of it. So the fact that they would sit there and they would say that they want to develop another live service game when they still even have Marathon is fucking insanity to me. We also have them talking about how Marathon will be an important part of Sony's portfolio and will continue to support it. Season 1, I heard, was a fucking disaster. There was tons of issues there, which I'll cover in a different video. But it's just so sad to look at this DLC structure doesn't even go into all the mini DLCs, Forsaken, etc. It's just so disappointing. You could read the rest of this article. I wanted to just point out those two main sentences that we had there because at the end of the day, Destiny, I think, is one of a kind. I love Borderlands. Borderlands 2 is one of the greatest games ever created. Borderlands 3, gameplay-wise, was good. Didn't really hit. Borderlands 4, didn't hit. I think the Borderlands franchise, it's probably done. It's probably cooked. They probably made some money off of it, especially with 4, but that's it. Nobody plays about it. Nobody talks about it. What are the looter shooters out there besides Warframe? And Warframe's a completely different style of video game. There isn't. There really isn't that. So, very depressing stuff when you have to sit down and look at this. But, I mean, they fucked up. And I want to be wrong. I hope this is not the case, but I could easily see Bungie getting dissolved into Sony within the next 2 to 3 years. So, that being said, I love you. I'm out this.